every single person in Australia drives on the wrong side of the road.
Great.
And if you try to drive on the correct side, they get mad at you and yell at you. They honk. It's so rude. Those are the only people that have wanted to murder me, though.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm joined here today by a very special guest. He has won 80 plus PDGA sanctioned events. He's held the Guinness World Records for backhand and sidearm distance, and I believe the only person to ever hold both of those records. 17-time world and national disc golf and distance titles during his professional career. So we got Scott Stokely here with us today.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you, for sure.
Real pleasure to have you in Australia and also to be on the channel. Super exciting to have someone of your caliber join us. So
Appreciate that.
yeah, really appreciate you coming on. You've been in Australia a couple weeks now?
I think about 2 weeks, and nothing has tried to murder me yet.
That's good. What were the stories that you heard coming here?
That everything wants to murder you. There's the saltwater crocodiles, the box jellyfish, and great whites. Great whites, 7 of the 10 most venomous snakes, 5 of the 10 most venomous spiders. So the thing about Australia is that y'all think you think it's cute. Like saltwater crocodiles are called salties.
And it's like an attraction.
Because it's adorable. Like these killing prehistoric death machines that haven't evolved in 200 million years because they're perfect killing death machines. Like they perfected it like 200 million years ago. Salties.
Perfect. So you haven't had any near-death experiences as of yet?
No, except for, and I made a video about this, except for the drivers.
Because they drive on the wrong side of the road?
Every single person in Australia drives on the wrong side of the road.
That's great.
And if you try to drive on the correct side, they get mad at you and yell at you. They honk. It's so rude.
No one warned you about that before coming.
But then even here, there's this one pond, and I'm joking. I'm like, are there salties in there? Like, there's nothing in that pond that will try to kill you. It's filled with leeches. So even the things that don't want to kill you want to suck your blood out.
Yeah, and those are almost the more creepy ones, in my opinion.
I don't know. Having your head bit off by a salty sounds creepier than
something sticking to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. So anyways, yeah. Other than that,
it's been an adventure by the sounds of it. So.
No, it's perfect. I mean, it's great. I love it. I mean, we're having a great time.
That's awesome. Good to hear. And if I'm not mistaken, you're kind of doing a bit of a world disc golf tour, kind of.
Yeah.
Starting here in Australia.
We're calling it a trip. It might go longer, but it's 2.5 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And we left 2 weeks ago for a 2.5-year world tour.
Amazing.
But it's not really a 2.5-year tour because we're full-time. My girlfriend and I, we're full-time nomads. We don't own a single thing that's not in our hotel room right now.
Wow. Yeah.
So we've been traveling for years with everything we owned in our car, and so it's not really a trip because that implies that at the end of it we're going to go get an apartment or something, which we're not going to do. We're going to keep traveling somewhere. May go back to the U.S. in 2025 and do the DGPT again if I'm still shooting well enough to get a tour card.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal, is to go do the U.S. again in 2025. But that won't be the end of a trip. That's just going to be a new location.
Yeah, continuing on. Yeah. So is there much of a plan as to where you're going to hit up on this world tour?
4 weeks in New Zealand, and then we're spending 4 months in Southeast Asia. We're going to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Cambodia for about a month to play tournaments.
Okay.
And then at the end of that month, we're going to spend 3 months in Laos and Vietnam. But that's not disc golf. That's going to be just travel.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to Japan. 2 months and then a month in Japan. And then we're going to do the full Euro tour for the next year.
Okay, so the Euro disc golf tour again.
European Pro Tour and PDGA Europe, which is also the Euro Tour.
Yeah.
We're kind of doing both of those.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds great.
It's busy.
Yeah, very busy, but seeing all the places, and then did I hear some maybe plans to Africa potentially as well, going there?
Yeah, my plan. Oh my God. So I'm so the end of next year, at the end of the Euro Tour, our plan is to do India and Africa for like 4 months or 5 months. And some of that's disc golf related because there's tournaments in Tanzania, Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Africa. And I think each of those countries has like 1 or 2 courses. Wow. So it's brand new there. So that's really what I want to do. I want to go places where it's new. So that's where India is, just to go to India.
Yeah.
And actually the exciting part for me is that we had talked for a while about going to Egypt.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But according to the U.S. news, if you're American and you go to Egypt, the second you step off the plane, they murder you. That's kind of what they imply.
Right.
Well, we did our research, and it turns out that, like, that's not what happens. That everybody's, like, really nice, and everyone speaks so highly of the people there, and and how welcoming they say it's safe. There are places that are dangerous that we've done our research. It turns out they're actually dangerous.
Don't go there, yeah.
Egypt isn't one of them. Egypt is it's as safe as like anywhere.
Place.
Yeah. So I'm real excited to get to go to Egypt. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, wow, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, and then grow disc golf in those really, really sort of new countries that are.
I would love to introduce disc golf to Egypt. Oh my God, that'd be so cool. Yeah. So yeah, some of these countries we're going to, I will reach out to those countries. Like right now, when we go to Singapore, as of right now, I'm going to be doing 4 like big like presentations in the 4 Singapore school districts to teach disc golf to kids, but they've never heard of disc golf.
Wow.
Okay. So no, I'm definitely going to be doing that. So when I go to Egypt, I'll be reaching out to like how can we get disc golf in Egypt? Yeah. But it's also a vacation.
Yeah.
Not vacation, but travel too. My phone's talking to me. All about the Australian Disc Golf Championships.
Oh, there you go. And so I guess following on from that, you've been teaching disc golf for many years, since 1995, if I got that right, or around that.
Yeah, I started doing clinics in 95. I wrote the first book on disc golf throwing technique in 2000. I've run like 500, more than 500 clinics, and another 285 group classes around the country for kids with special needs, kids and adults with special needs. So I do more teaching than anybody. That's how I pay for all this, by the way. And I don't have a trust fund or anything.
It's all for the teaching. Well, So looking into the teaching a bit further, I guess what's inspired you to sort of go down the teaching, coaching route?
All right, so I got this weird theory that people outside of the sport, if they don't like think it through, would sound so silly. But I think teaching disc golf is one of the most important jobs in the world.
Okay.
Which sounds silly on the surface, right?
Yeah.
It's not silly. Because like, what's the most important thing in life? Like, it's your family, right? Probably first. But after your family, the next most important thing in life is the thing you're passionate about. Your art, your music, your hobbies, your sport, like whatever it is that you love to do is a huge part of our happiness, our mental health. It's what gives us joy in the world. Even our families don't always give us joy. Our hobbies do. And the thing about disc golf is just like golf. It's like, it's the funnest thing in the world when you're not sucking at it. And by the way, that doesn't mean that we're not all capable of having days where we suck at it. I suck at it some days, and it's not that much fun. And so helping people get better allows them to enjoy the thing that they love more.
Yeah.
I truly think that's a very important thing. It's way more important than most other jobs, I mean, in my opinion. And so that gives me so much joy to have people that they couldn't throw far, now they can. They couldn't aim their disc, now they can. They couldn't score, they couldn't get birdies, now they get birdies. They can't win tournaments, now they win tournaments. Like, that's like the coolest thing. So I love it. The fact that I can also make a living doing it and keep doing what I'm doing is wonderful.
Pretty good life. It
is.
And I can tell how passionate you are about it, which I think would only translate as you're passing that wisdom.
I want to be the best in the world at teaching. It's very important to me that I'm the best teacher in the world. And I'm not saying that I am, but my goal is to be the best teacher in the world. I'm very competitive at life.
Good, I guess.
But being the best teacher means you're helping the most people. It's it's not altruistic. I get paid, but it's my motives for being the best are not just ego.
Yeah, it's to help others.
It's partially ego. I'm human. Give me a break. You know, but it's not just that. It's also, you know, being the best means when I work with somebody or people, they're going to play better afterwards. Like if no one walks away going, I don't get this. Like everybody gets it when I'm done.
Yeah, and I can speak from experience. Definitely being able to get the birdies and aim and stuff definitely makes you enjoy disc golf a lot more. So
yeah,
if you're helping other people do that, then
players come up to me all the time, and it's not always this direction, but it usually is. It's guys asking me how can they get their wives or girlfriends into disc golf. Every once in a while, it's the other way around, and by every once in a while, I mean it's never happened. but I'm sure it's happened somewhere.
Yeah.
And but you know, the guy, how do I get my girlfriend into it? Like, she doesn't understand how much fun it is. But then if I watch her throw, and she stands at the end of the tee pad and then throws it 20 meters that direction, like, and it's like, isn't that fun? No, that's not fun at all. That's like taking someone out bowling and they don't know how to bowl, and so they're throwing gutter balls, and you're like, isn't bowling great? It's like, no, bowling sucks. Bowling's not fun at all. Yeah. But when you're actually able to do the shots, the likelihood that that person is going to enjoy it, when all of a sudden they can aim and get some distance and actually make some throws, it's like, okay, now it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun when you don't know what you're doing. I don't want to say it's not fun, but it's not as much fun.
Yeah, not as enjoyable.
No.
Yeah. Shifting gears a little bit and looking at some of your playing career, and we'll come back to sort of other things as well, but if I read things correctly, you sort of started maybe playing in like 76 potentially. Mm-hmm. How did disc golf start for you? And then, you know, you pretty quickly jumped into playing professional and stuff like that. What was that like for you back when you started?
So it started for me in 76 because my dad died when I was 7 years old, and my mom would just take me to all the local parks in the area, and you know, some of them had the biggest swing set, some of them had a merry-go-round, some of them had a frisbee, or one of them had a frisbee golf course, some of them had a tree I liked to climb. It wasn't anything special. It was just that park had a frisbee course. That was the activity at that park. No idea at the time that it was the only course in the entire world.
Yeah. How about that?
I had no idea that it was historic or was going to become historic or special. It was just a thing in the park.
The place you went to.
And then, but it was the thing I liked to do the most. Mm-hmm. Way more fun than a swing set.
Really?
Or merry-go-round.
Yeah.
Frisbee golf, you know, as far as activities, has always been my favorite thing. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it's not even true. Disc sports in general. Mm-hmm. Double disc court is my favorite frisbee game.
Okay.
Just to play.
Yeah.
But you know, disc golf is where I make a living.
Okay. Yeah.
And but as far as like playing pro, back then there were no amateurs. There wasn't any such thing as an amateur division. You showed up, you played your money, and you paid your money, and you played for it. Mm-hmm. There was a kids division, but there were no kids that played really. So, like I had to play with the adults if I wanted to play, but I was also good. Right. So when I was 15, I finished third place at a major tournament.
Okay.
And I mean, skill-wise, it's like I'm certain that I'm far better now than I was then. Mm-hmm. But the sport was newer. The players, even the best players back then, had not been playing for anywhere near as long as the players today. So, I mean, you know, the game's evolved.
Yeah. I'm sure you would have seen that, you know, being in a sport for so long, how sort of the changes that it's gone through as it's gone on. Briefly, for those who haven't heard of it before, you mentioned double disc court, was it called?
Yeah, double disc court.
Can you briefly explain what that is? Because I don't think many people would have heard of that before.
Okay, so double disc court is one of the early flying disc games. In the early days, there was not disc golf. There was a sport called frisbee. And frisbee was actually a brand name from Whammo, but all flying discs just got called frisbees because Whammo dominated the market. And they were just inventing games, frisbee games. And so when you went to a frisbee tournament, it was not a one-event tournament. You would play 5, 6, 7 different frisbee events. So you would go distance and accuracy and golf and freestyle, which is doing tricks at the time, throws and catches, and then eventually nail delays and higher level skills.
Right. Yeah.
But these are just, you know, some of the games that you would play at a frisbee tournament. And one of them was a game called Double Disc Court. And the short of it is a double disc court is 2 courts, 13 meters square, separated by 17 meters.
Okay.
There's 2 players in each court, and there's 2 discs in play at the same time. Frisbees, not golf discs. In play at the same time. And the idea is that if you throw a shot that lands in the court, hits in the court, and stays in the court, you get a point. If your opponent throws one that hits out of the court, or it hits in the court and then rolls or skips out of the court, if it touches out of the court at any point, you'll get a point.
Okay.
But the double disc part is if you can make both players touch both discs at the same time,
Okay.
then you get 2 points.
Right. So you want both of them to land in their court at the same time?
No,
Have them
you want, or have them both touching.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the basic idea is that you and I are on a team. I'm holding a disc. One of our opponents is holding a disc over there. Because they had scored the last point, they have to initiate by throwing first. They throw one to you, trying to put you as deep in the court as possible, because you don't want to be at the front of the court for a short shot. Right before you catch the shot, I'm going to throw some version of a slow shot. While it's in the air, you're going to catch the disc and you're going to throw it fast and time the shot so they both get to the court at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
Now, both those discs are coming at the same time.
Yeah.
So the way you would escape
Yeah.
from that would be, let's say that the 2 teams are attacking us. You're playing the slow one, I'm playing the fast one. If the slow one's getting there slightly before, you'll tip that disc up in the air. While it's in the air, I catch.
Yeah. Okay.
Good in mind, you catch. You now fire back trying to attack them.
So it's very fast paced.
It's very fast paced because if that fast one's coming in first, then you are telling me to either tip it, which is you're tipping a full speed throw, which is it's a years of skill, but it's coming in full speed and you're popping that one up in the air. While you're catching that one, I'm catching and firing back.
Wow. Okay.
It's really, really, really exciting. But the problem is, there's only like 100 people in the world who play it.
Okay. So it's very small, even smaller than disc golf.
Oh my God, no, it's there's more disc golfers in Brisbane than there are DDC players in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like a lot of fun. Like
it's my favorite game in the world, but it's just like I can't make a living doing it.
Yeah, it's more like a social kind of thing we can play with people potentially.
Yeah, most of the people that play now have been playing for 30 years, so it's just the old timers that still play. They're still all really good.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. The reaction time you need for that and the communication and stuff. It sounds
oh yeah, the one person is always in charge of the strategy for your team. So if you are the person who's always playing the first disc coming in, then you're also making the call, telling me what to do. You're going tip, off, go.
Wow.
You're giving me signals, telling me what to do, because you got to make that call like that.
Straight away.
And then I got to interpret that call, make my play.
Yeah.
It's so high level.
Yeah.
At the highest level.
Yes. Very different to disc golf, with it being very like slow, kind of methodical.
No, it's completely the opposite. It's like playing tennis.
Yeah.
Or a 2-person volleyball, something like that would be like the kind of the equivalent speed of the game.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Well, that sounds very interesting, and I'm sure a lot of people learn a lot from hearing about that. I'd only heard about it once before. So you then toured for a while, spent some time off from the sport before jumping back. So how did that sort of pan out?
Well, I toured for 8 years in the 90s. I mean, off and on for 8 years, starting in 1993.
Okay.
I went out for 3 months and have never stopped, basically.
Yeah.
And, well, actually, never stopped. I did stop after 8 years.
Yeah.
I took a break. My daughter was born, and I wanted to be in one place. I didn't want to be on tour trying to raise her. Some miscellaneous things happened in my life, some ups and downs. But when she went off to college 3 years ago, I just took off again. And that was it. I'm never going to not be on the road again, never.
Yeah.
I'm just not happy, like, being in my bed. Like, I don't want to have my bed.
Yeah.
Had that conversation. I was over at Simon Lazat's house, and he goes, when he's away, he just wants to get back home to his bed. And I'm like, what could possibly be worse than having a bed? Like, you wake up and it's like you open the front door, it's like, I've seen that neighbor's house before.
Why am I seeing it again?
I don't want to see that again. Like, I want to see a different house.
Yeah.
No, we actually, my girlfriend and I will drive, at tournaments, we will drive to and from the courts different routes every day.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, just just to do something different. And when we drove up to Agnes, we went like interior and then coastal,
Yeah.
like on purpose because it's two different
things.
Two different drives.
Yeah. Definitely a different way of looking at things. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would want that nice sort of home base, but you're not.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with like wanting that security and like it's about finding out. It's about figuring out what you want and then doing it your way.
Mm-hmm.
But don't doing it my way or the other way because you're supposed to do it that way.
Yeah.
It's like what works for you. Like so, Simon doesn't want to be on the road. Simon shouldn't be on the road.
Mm.
But I don't want to have I want to be homeless for the rest of my life. Like I never want to have a home.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool to hear, and it's coming to fruition, and you're making it happen, which is really cool. So
it is.
That's awesome. What would you say? I guess it might be hard to sort of summarize it, but in terms of playing career, is there a moment that sticks out for you that's one of the best moments?
I mean, there's a lot of them. The first time I won a world championship was a big deal. When I won the World Distance Championships in 1991. The first time I set a Guinness World Record was a big deal because I've been striving for that.
Yeah.
The skin smash that happened earlier this year.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that.
No, that was a massive thing for me because it was a really big deal because none of the things I've done are on video. There wasn't cell phones, and if someone had a video camera, a couple of them got on video, and the videos were lost because you had a cassette tape. If that cassette tape got lost, your video, it wasn't stored digitally somewhere.
Yeah.
So if the cassette tape's gone, and so it was the only thing of mine, the only video of me doing what I do.
And doing it very well.
Yeah, but getting that on video is a really important thing to me because then I got at least one shot that'll be on the highlight reels, or that when they talk about the best shots ever, like it'll get in the conversation.
For sure.
And I didn't want to be excluded from those conversations.
For sure. Because even though you've done so much, achieved so much, it's evidence of it, that record that's going to last.
In 1,000 years, or in 10,000 years, we're going to look back and there's going to be before like 2005 and after 2005.
Yeah.
Like things got lost to history forever until like 2005, and now nothing will ever be lost to history because it's all digital. Everything's recorded. So, like my playing career was the last generation to happen before everything got recorded.
Yeah.
And which means it's lost to history if it's not recorded. So, getting something on video that will be part of that package is
super special.
It's a big deal. It's really important to me.
Yeah.